This week on InfoHazard, why do people love Democratic policies but hate the Democrats? What I want to talk about this week is if you pitch the policies the Democrats pitch, but don't call them left-wing or Democratic policies or whatever, they tend to have very high support, much higher than Democrats themselves get. And so I kind of wanted to look into that gap a little bit and, theorize about why that might be. As an example, Medicare for All has something like 65% support if you pull for it, but yet clearly Democrats do not have 65% support among the population. And even if you go less specific, 60% of the American electorate thinks that the government has a responsibility to provide healthcare for people, which clearly they don't vote like that, right? Or we would already have some sort of better healthcare system than we have, I would think. We'll each give you, our viewers, our perfect hot take on why we think this is, and then we'll solicit your feedback on why you think this is. So, David, why do you think it is?
Why do voters like Democratic policy positions but dislike Democrats? Gosh.
Where does this gap come from?
Propaganda. It comes from continuous partisan attacks all over the media. It's a whole industry, right? It's coordinated, but not all of it. There's lots to attack. I think you can attack individual Democratic politicians. Nancy Pelosi, very attackable person, made a fortune off insider trading while in Congress. George Soros, very boogeyman-like. Fox News is a propaganda outlet. Just that's the whole point is to mislead, to slant, to slander, to persuade.
But like the specific examples you use there, you're focusing on the personal attack element of a propaganda campaign.
That's right. There is tons of issue-focused propaganda, right? A great example would be the death tax, right? The framing of inheritance tax as being a death tax, when it's actually super insane and toxic for our society that we have inherited billionaires, but we do. And they got together and I guess paid a PR firm and came up with the term death tax and pushed hard to get that repealed because, yeah, I mean, that's just good marketing, aka propaganda. It's also misleading marketing, aka propaganda, to call it a death tax. I mean, that's one of many examples. And you talked about Medicare for All, right? There's a very convenient smear the word socialism, which we in America is like a dirty word and it gets attached to all such things. It's easy enough to just hammer on some little rebuttal to a policy like Medicare for All, saying that people like their current insurance, right?
Government death panels. They're going to kill grandma.
There you go. Government death panels. Yeah, that's a good bit of propaganda. I mean,
say no to government death panels. Say yes to corporate death panels.
Right. And you just look in your mailbox around election time and you just see more of the attacks again. But that's talking about some of the tactics, I guess, or like there's the personal smears, there's the policy framings, like the insane policy framings. But there's also very targeted stuff. Technology is making this worse, where on social media, people can be targeted and brought down like rabbit holes where they're seeing the same messaging at increasing intensity over time. So yeah, propaganda.
Yeah. I feel like we should mention just the kind of propaganda to just lead people to just completely ignore the truth in favor of what they want to believe.
Right. I mean, I didn't explain.
Sure. Like
I did.
You're like the kind of propaganda that would lead you outside of the realm of like a consensus, like,
say, for example, you were so sure that the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump that you would violently attack the United States Capitol.
Sure. Or you think that the Jews are using space lasers to control
Forest
the weather.
fires.
Right. Yeah. You can go completely beyond the pale in terms of engaging with the factual reality that would maybe make you more likely to be in favor of policies that would materially benefit you. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's a great segue. Phil, what do you think is the cause?
I would take something you said earlier and I would slightly tweak it. You said the convenient slur for the Democrats is socialism. I think the thing that people actually like is socialism. That is the target of these propaganda campaigns and the real fear that has been that would cause the people with the money to start up these propaganda campaigns. What they actually fear is the working class and the power of the working class. Your example at the beginning, Medicare for all, is not a democratic policy. That is not something that the Democrats advocate for. That's something that the socialists advocate for. As Bernie Sanders and
Democratic
AOC,
socialist.
the Democratic Socialists of America, and all the other socialist organization. Like the Democrats implemented Obamacare, which has materially positively impacted the lives of the people who use it. It has subsidized the health care of millions of Americans, allowed many people access to health care who wouldn't have it otherwise, but it is not Medicare for all. We didn't get Medicare for all. We need Medicare for all. Another reason why people hate the Democrats is because they do not attack the real enemy, which is capital. The real antagonist of the majority of people's lives is the capital holding class who holds the power over the people. They control your workspace, they control the media, they control all the levers of powers. They donate big to both the Democrats and Republicans. And yeah, they're effectively propagandizing against working class policies that would benefit your life. And they have effectively done it for many years. And that's why socialism is a slur in America. But I would also maintain that is the solution.
So you're basically saying people are not in favor of democratic policies; they're in favor of socialist policies.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
So
There's a little slant on the whole premise, but yes, they're not in favor of. They're not in favor of the Democratic Party. They are in favor of the Democratic Party when they do things that mimic the appearance of socialism. Well, moreover, what people are actually in favor of is policy that benefits the working class.
But so then, Phil,
and empowers them in their lives.
All right, so that's fair. But then, what's your answer to the? So, okay, fine, you've convincingly rebutted the premise. But what about the question? So then, why is it that people don't support these, other than propaganda? Because you can't copy off of my.
Because the Democrats are insufficiently attacking the owners of capital.
Okay.
Because they are captured by
the Democrats. Don't go far enough. They're controlled opposition.
Right. Or yes.
I mean, like literally, yes. They open themselves to attack from the types of people who would be on the edge and would credibly say that they are not different enough from the Republicans for it to matter. They are subject to the same think tank. Well, they're subject to the same sort of think tank, policy analyst, lobbyist kind of environment that is the main policy generating class of both parties.
I mean, analysis is great, but yeah, anyway, I think you crushed it before. All right, Danny. So what did we miss? What do you think?
All right. Well, so my personal theory is that basically the vision that Republicans try to sell is sort of inherently more marketable than what the Democrats try to pitch. The Republicans kind of try to pitch this sort of just world. You work hard, you'll be rewarded, your life will go great as long as you work hard and follow the law, etc. You know, this 1950s nuclear family, like dad goes to work and he comes home, mom's been the homemaker all day, the house is clean, she's been taking care of the kids, that sort of thing. And that is an appealing theory, and it's just that when you look at the real world, it doesn't quite work out like that. What if dad gets cancer and can't go to work anymore, etc.? It's only when you start bringing the reality into the vision that it kind of falls apart. And so people just buy into this beautiful dream that the Republicans pitch without looking into well enough whether or not they can actually deliver it, basically. Whereas Democrats are always sort of in the yes, but what about kind of frame of mode where they don't have a vision that they're trying to sell. Yeah.
Yeah. You're thinking of all the counterfactuals.
Exactly.
Yeah. A social safety net is like this force that fights against the inherent unfairness of a lot of laissez-faire capitalism, where it's just like if the system is going and without interference from the government, that it will favor the rich at every turn. The people with the money will have the power. So like their kids will go to the nice college, and their kids will get the preferred jobs, and they'll keep the money in the family because they'll have the preferred jobs.
If you're working for your kids, it makes sense that your work should, that some of your work should go to benefit your kids. I don't think that that's inherently wrong, but I think like what is clearly inherently wrong is the positive feedback loop of more and more power concentration. There at least needs to be some sort of balance where people don't feel like their work is being robbed from their children, and there's no point doing anything for themselves or for their local communities or anything. It's all just being taken. We're nowhere close to anyone feeling like that.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, we know where the balance lies right now.
Fundamentally, people don't want to pay taxes, right? So it's just easier to sell you shouldn't have to pay taxes. Yeah, you're right for feeling like that. That
there was this Jeff Bezos interview on CNBC, speaking of a propaganda network, just sucking up to this class. He was asked, what do you say to people who want to raise taxes on billionaires? And he said, I think we should cut taxes for working people. The median person, a nurse, they have to pay like 10-15% of their income in taxes. That's not okay. They shouldn't pay anything, which is just this, you reminded me of it, of just like this, it sounds nice. People want to pay less taxes. Oh, he said I should pay less taxes. But
they also want the government to pay for stuff like a bloated military and Social Security, right? So the money's got to come from somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it just makes no sense if you think about it for like 10 seconds.
Sure, we'll cut all taxes, right? I mean, you're potentially taking away all the government revenue that would be coming from the taxes extracted from the people much wealthier than you, which would have gone to benefit you with like a robust programs of social benefit, potentially Medicare for all. Equally importantly, that they should be being taxed more than you because they are benefiting off of your labor. And without the government acting as a counterbalance to their power, they are going to have even more power over your life. And they are going to exercise it in making your life worse and making their lives better.
Yep, that about sums it up.
All right.
So if you, the audience, have a theory as to why left-wing policies, socialist policies, whatever you want to call them, are far more popular than the results of what the government actually does would suggest, drop a comment. Tell us your theory.
Let's choose a more marketable term. I prefer Marxist communist. Okay, go up.
It's been another gap-closing episode of Info Hazard. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comment about what you think the gap is.